Guys, how are you going? Welcome back to Stuff Kings. Today I've got 3 streams at the same time. Pretty crazy. And yeah, it doesn't look like it's lagging too much, which is nice. Yeah, 3 streams at the same time. It feels pretty crazy. It's still FNCS Globals Day 2. And yeah, let's get some Fortnite. The first game starts in 35 minutes. Someone already chatted. Okay. Well, thanks for the follow, SMD023. Thanks for the follow. Right. Yeah, thanks for the follow.
Attack 3 very early on, they do the same thing. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, one of these things that they do is, of course, they find these launch pads, right? These huge launch pads that can send you so far up in the sky. They actually place one down. They almost use it as a static launch pad, although it's not there on the map all the time. They find one, they chuck it in the middle of the POI, and then, of course, that gives them not only so much visibility, but also Tinker's team, when they contested them, one of them might dip, as we saw right here, Tinker do himself. Seti was able to then go on out, close that fight out, get all of that storm surge damage so effectively. I need to go down here to farm a little bit more as well.
Yeah, now the specific strategy that they pretty much do, Seti is kind of just sent off, go ahead and pick up as much loot as he possibly can, right? And he returned to that quote-unquote static launch pad that they kind of throw down in the middle of the POI. He usually will end up dropping all of his loot and then continue to go ahead and pick up more stuff.
Yeah, and Panzer does all of the surge damage up on this massive base right here. We see them shooting a Malabuka right here, and this is a really important role for this trio because Panzer, remember, this is his first time on this stage, so big role for a player of that caliber. We know how good he is. He sort of burst onto the scene at the beginning of the year, and is doing very well on LAN as well.
Of course, being the trio with the most storm damage taken as well, right? That's why we kind of talked about it, right? They will make sure that they pick up enough loot from all of the surrounding area, kind of using that launch pad. They don't mind delaying it because, again, they still have that launch pad to kind of flow in or fly into the zones. They stayed in this game, this example, all the way until 4th, right? The launch pad's such an important part of their strategy, and so is just kind of hiding away in the storm.
Yeah, they get so much surge damage early, they're sitting inside the storm getting all those heals. When it comes to the end game then, playing low ground, playing consistent, sort of back to what we used to see with Cammy and Seti when they were a duo, right? And even a trio as well. So it's great to see these guys playing. They seem to make the most of the games they make of.
So cool, right? Thinking launch pad, we should probably save that to the end game, right? Changing up how you utilize that. Look at the advantage this trio's got. Now, of course, we do have Yapko standing by. Let's hear from him.
I am so glad. That Yapko is back representing Europe and doing it in such fashion. Yapko, when you came back from North America and joined up with Panzer and Seti, did you expect your trio to do so well so quickly?
I'm not sure. We were last second trio. We had a lot of stuff to learn together about each other, and we managed to do it before FNCS and Globals, and now we're a pretty good trio.
Well, you must have the chemistry because you're doing incredibly well off spawn at Kappa Kappa Factory. What do you think is going so right for you there?
We put in a lot of time on practice. Like in customs every night, we played Osmans against other pro teams.
Ils ont eu beaucoup de choses à travailler quand ils se sont rejoints lorsqu'il est venu en Europe de l'Amérique du Nord. Ils ont fait beaucoup d'efforts là-dessus, ils se sont beaucoup entraînés aussi sur leur spawn et maintenant ils sont très très bons. What does your experience, because you're used to LAN, do you think it helps you?
I don't think it helps me. I don't think it gives me worse. Like it's just, it doesn't matter if I'm on LAN, if I'm at home. I feel the same everywhere.
So no pressure.
No pressure, no pressure.
Is it fun to also be playing against some of your ex-opponents in North America and even against an ex-teammate in Muzz?
Yeah. I'm not really like thinking about it. I'm just playing it like it's every other final.
So at the end of today, are you going to be lifting that trophy?
Hopefully.
Well, we will see. Let's head back to the desk.
Just try to keep things calm, cool, and collected, right? Calling out, hey, I'm just treating this like every other final. That's a great mindset, right? Because things, again, we continue to talk about it with this type of crowd. Things are on another level of pressure. And I love that Yapko, I mean, he's kind of been under this pressure before. Mini, right? A Gamers 8.
Yeah, Gamers 8 2023, of course, ended up winning that event on LAN. Of course, different game mode, you know, regardless, it doesn't make a difference, right? LAN is still the same, same sort of environment. So I think that definitely has a part to play now. You know, he was leading very, very well in the first day of that. Now coming into today, third place, looking good for them. That experience is going to be so, so vital for him in front of a crowd like this on LAN. I know he says it's the same. It's not the same. It's never going to be the same.
I'm like,
it's good to have that mindset,
yeah,
right?
I'm like thinking to myself, that's got to be a lie, right? There's no way he feels the exact same way about that. But I love the fact that he goes ahead and mentions, hey, listen, you know, we're kind of a last-minute trio that kind of formed, right? We kind of tee up Globals. We're like, hey, listen, some of these trios, they've been playing together all year. They're going to be so experienced. They're going to be used to playing together. And then a team that kind of forms in the last second, right? Kind of buzzard beater ends up doing this well, man. It's just awesome to see.
To think this is one of these three trios could be our global champions, right? They are fighting right now, tooth and nail. I'm almost curious, right? Is day two, is this pressure going to be more? Are they feeling the stress of like, okay, everyone is looking at us in the top three? Is that going to slow them down?
I don't know. You think eyes are really on the top three, right? I feel like everybody kind of has the same sentiment. All eyes are on first place right now. How do we stop? How do we give ourselves kind of this best chance, which is kind of good when you think about it for Seti's True. Hey, listen, the race is on, and all eyes on Queasy right now. They got to be feeling good.
Oh man, your high eyes right now are actually on this crowd, Vivid. We got Frankie standing by. Why don't we hear from this crowd right now?
Coucou Leon, ça va ou quoi?
Est-ce que Lyon, vous pouvez vous mettre debout? Mettez-vous debout, parce qu'on va faire un maximum de bruit. On est bientôt à l'ouverture de la première partie. It's almost the beginning of the first games.
This is why I love this crowd. You ask them nicely to do something, and they do it, and they look so good as they do. Should we test their voices now?
Oh oui, est-ce qu'on peut tester votre voix parce qu'elle trouve que vous êtes très énergique? Est-ce qu'on peut prouver au monde entier qu'on a la meilleure communauté française au monde? Faites du bruit!
I love it. Okay then, let's test out who they think is going to be raising the Thomas Light Trophy at the end of today. Lyon, vous en pensez quoi? Seti, Yapko, Panzer, va gagner! Well, they made noise.
Et alors, j'ai une question. Est-ce que vous pensez que Vania, Pixie et Marius vont gagner?
Finalement. Queasy, Swizzy, Massa, va gagner! Whoever wins Joker, I have to say, I think they're never gonna forget this crowd.
Clairement, personne ne va oublier ce moment, surtout pas les joueurs. Donc s'il vous plaît, faites un maximum de bruit.
I am loving this so much, but I can't wait to hear what this crowd sounds like once the games are underway. So let's head back to the desk.
Thank you so much. I mean, guys, come on. This crowd is insane. How could we not be excited? How could we not be hyped? I do want to kind of, I guess we kind of have to call out something if we just want to take a look at these standings real quick. I want to bring those up. There's something missing from these standings. Yeah, I thought this was a global championship. I thought we'd have some NA representation.
Dude, my heart hurts, dude. It's looked so good for, more than one NA team. And right now, I mean, fifth place, hey, shout out to Canada Rapid Votes because, 267 points for them. They were kind of coming in pretty confident, and they were kind of like an underrated trio kind of coming in this. I actually predicted them to be top 5, so shout out to them. Where's everybody else at, though?
Yeah. I was also thinking the same, right? So probably through a slightly different lens. Like, EU's on top, and you're like, oh, don't do NA. But yeah, I mean, Canada's team, what a start for them yesterday, right? Winning game number 1. I think they were a little bit of a sleeper team. Absolutely. A lot of people didn't have them in that sort of top 5. I know you did, so you'll mention that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Acorn Poyers, Acorn Poyers, that's a new one. Acorn Poyer and Aegis down there, Demons Debris. I think they struggled a little bit early game trying to find that consistency, but they're a team that can pop off with it, they do.
Exactly, right? Still, coming into this competition, I was like, hey, listen, everything looks so good for Acorn's trio. It looks like they're going to win it. Obviously, the start has not been the best, but they're still pretty much in the same situation coming into day number 2. They're still uncontested at a very good POI. They can still do good. They can still pop off and rise up the leaderboard.
And I spoke to Acorn at the hotel, actually before day number 1. I said, are you the sort of person that gets nervous at these big events? You like to think about it? You like to stay out of the zone or in the zone? And he said, it depends on how well prepared we are, right? If I'm not as prepared, I'm not feeling as confident. I think they're going to be looking back at the games last night, being so prepared. So I'm expecting these guys to come out with a lot of confidence.
Okay, I'm getting word. Frankie is standing by with some of our players in the player lounge right now. Frankie, rally the team, rally the troops.
How would you solve a problem like North America right now? Well, you send in a British Zero Build player, or maybe you get Canada to do a pep talk. Do you want to try?
Right now, I'm in 5th place for NAC. What place are you in right now?
I'm in 10th, looking rough. I don't know if we can do it, bro. Bro, I think I'm in like 8th or something, bro. I don't even know. I'm just gonna have to let out quick. Over like.
Okay, so this is our game plan for NAC to come back today. I'm gonna win every single game today. 20 kills minimum. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna try to get the least amount of points as possible to help out my boy Canada right here.
I mean, I'm gonna try to win too, like him, but I mean, Click's been kind of selling lately because like his girlfriend's here and he's not really locked in, he's not grinding, but
That's not awesome, bro.
This is why you stay single, Canada.
It's been rough, it's whatever, but we're gonna lock in this day.
All right, then you heard it here first. North America is locked in. Let's head back to the desk.
Levin, no. We got a plan, okay? NA is coming back stronger in day number 2, okay? All right, I don't want to hear it. Execute on that plan, please, man, please. I mean, hey, listen, did you talk about rallying the troops? We did get them all together, surprisingly, right? Yeah. A little bit of a round table right there. I don't know if that was very productive, though. Yeah, what did we get out of that? We got Canada's safe goal and Avia trolling, talking about Flick's not grinding, Flick's in. Angels is like, I'm just gonna get as least amount of points as possible.
And Hicks is like, yeah, it's so bad. It's not NA, It's still time. I mean, it's still like kind of half of the game, right? We still have another half of the competition to go. This could completely flip. Everyone that did well on day number 1, they might not do so good on day number 2. The teams that didn't do so good on day number 1, they now do well on day number 2.
Yeah, I mean, this is the classic NA strategy. Don't worry about it. It's our strategy to get in the minds of the EU and kind of like convince them that we're not going to do anything. You know, everything's fine. We're going to lose the game. Yeah, that's right.
And working well.
Back me up, baby. Back me up.
Yeah, exactly. That's all part of the plan.
Oh no. Anyway, I know what time it is. You guys want to start meeting the players. We need to get them on stage. Get them on that battle bus so we can kick off the competition. So, Leon, give it up for your players.
Welcome back to Taste Chicho and Atrix. Being contested is never easy, but if they make it off spawn, a victory royale is definitely in their sights.
It's Curly, Cooper, and Reed. Day 1 wasn't what anyone expected from them, but now a new day, they have a chance to prove they belong here.
Dropping in hot, it's Disco Striker and Canoe. With 2 top 5 finishes yesterday, it's clear they can hang with the best. But now it's time to be consistent.
Poland's Pride, Pitstorm, and Demas, from underdog to top dog. These guys earned everyone's respect, but now it's time to earn that trophy.
New team.
Leo, you have to get loud for victory, paper and...
Definitely Deborah.
Epic whale. It's a new day, but these guys are looking to bring the same determination and then some in the race to the top.
All the way from Brazil, Gazetta Way and Scarpa. When they get knocked down, they pick themselves up and dust themselves off because a comeback is incoming.
Game 1 winners from day 1. It's Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts. We saw them pop off both in and out of game, and now it's time to run it right back.
Coming in hot, Seti, Yapko, and Panzer. From new team on the block to serious threats. They're just a few big games away from claiming that top spot.
They knew it'd never be easy, but Valor, Mansour, and Adapter have their work cut out for them. Let's see how they fare here in day 2.
The Wonder from Down Under, Anon, Alex, and Resides. With an entire region supporting them, we'll look at these guys to climb up the ladder all day long.
Despite a tough opening, Polio, Anchors, and Acorn ability to adapt, it's second to none. So never count these guys out because they're looking to break into the top.
New team. Stopper.
First of
Let's
all,
see what another
please,
team is
Leon,
doing.
can you show some appreciation for Havoc Picks? Oh, come on, Havoc fans. I know you can be louder than that. Havoc Picks, let's hear you! Okay, I'm going to come over now to Dom and Demas because you're currently in 4th on the leaderboard. You are contested, uncontested, I should say. Do you think that's the reason why you're doing so well?
Yeah, probably. When we are uncontested, we can play the best as we can.
Yes, and I wonder if you've got any strategies for in case people do decide to try and contest you.
I mean, like,
Do you have any plans? What are you gonna do if someone comes and tries to contest you?
I mean, like, we're just gonna try to kill them and just, yeah, we win the game.
Before I let you go, the Havoc fans here. Just one word for the Havoc fans, please, Pig.
I love you all.
There you have it. Pix loves you, Havoc fans. He's going to be doing it for you guys and for Poland today. Jogger as well.
Hello everybody, bonjour tout le monde, je vais poser des questions à Disco, Striker and Kadu. I have the first question to you. You are in top 15th, close to the top 10. How will you go
into the top 10. So, vocês estão em 15º e muito perto do top 10. Como você chega no top 10?
Nós vai tentar dar o máximo, vamos trocar as estratégias, trocar as coisas que fizemos e tentar dar o nosso melhor para chegar no top 10.
So they changed a few things on their strategy. They talked a little bit yesterday on new things that they have to do, and I think they're confident that they can make it.
And now, guys, do you have a word for your Brazilian fans?
Você tem algumas palavras para os seus fãs no Brasil ou na Argentina?
Pro brasileiro torçam por nós e pros argentinos que crean que hay con qué querer.
So they say for the Brazilian cheer for us, and for the Argentinian he's speaking directly for them.
And good luck to you. Let's go back to Frankie.
Merci, Choka. I'm here with North America Central's greatest hope, Canada, Rapid, and Bolts. And look at that, Canada's done the impossible. He's got the French fans on side. But will you still have them on side if you manage to take...
Playing the game, if we take down France, I love France, so it's unlucky, you know, we're just playing a game. Let's go, come on, let's get this, we're locked in, we're showing up for NA.
I thought you were going to lose them then, Canada. Slightly, but not quite. Okay then. Bolts, you carry these guys back in the Major 3 finals. Do you feel the pressure on your shoulders to carry them to the top today?
Nah, there's no pressure on my hands, you know, I have all the evidence to back up my skill. You know, I'm always hitting max bumps. Rapid's the best IGL I've ever played with. Nada's the best support player. He's also fragging. So I already know we're going to take it home today.
All right then, Leon, please give them your energy and please show your appreciation for our next teams.
It's your boys, King, Phaser, and PHN. These guys won't go down without a fight. You can expect them to lay it all on the line in the pursuit of that trophy.
The lobby's heating up, and Vortex, Fountain, and Goofy are ready to get the comeback started for day 2 on the global stage. Just watch them work.
It's Baca, Barnes, and Plum. They might be down, but they are never out. The 2-time FNCS champs are looking for a major comeback today. Let's get it.
They may be a new trio, but I Drop, Cammy, and Ani have been around long enough to know exactly what it takes to overcome the competition in a 2-day event.
The pride of Middle East hero, Hanan, FKS. They prove they can fight against the best. With 6 games today, they have...
Four times 2 might be 8, but Clicks, Higgs, and Ianto are more than capable of breaking into the top 3. Just give them time to rep the set for an elite performance.
Get loud from Manin, Wixie, and Buyuriru. With a 7th place finish to close out Game 6, they show their potential. If they can build off that momentum, sky's the limit.
Please welcome Mix and Focus.
Sick of lagging, bro.
And Apple. They won some hard battles, but today's it's on the leaderboard.
Walking in now, Art School and Southco. So close to top 10, and we haven't even seen their best. Today, they plan to show the world what they're truly made of.
You said 12 for 12, but Toyota, Visa, and Yuma could easily mix things up in an effort to overcome and overtake their competition in the lobby.
It's
come and speak to some of our North American West players. So please, backers, Paz, Pump, please be on your feet. Let the fans see you. Pump, this is your very first Fortnite Global Championship. How are you finding it?
I'm finding it good. I mean, I wish we were uncontested, but you know, it's how the game is. So hopefully we can pull off a better day.
How are those Osborne fights going for you at the moment?
It's going good here right now. We're confident going to the next couple games next week.
Have you been discussing how you're going to overcome the situation? Are you thinking of maybe moving your drop spot?
Oh yeah, we're pretty. We got everything covered right now. We're locked in for it.
Interesting. Paz, tell me, you are at 18th on the leaderboard. Obviously, 6 more games, everything to play for. Do you play it safe, or do you play it like you have nothing to lose?
I mean, we definitely aren't here for some mediocre placement. We're going to try our best to end up top 5 at the end of the day.
Well, you won majors 1 and 3 in your region, so I know you've got it in you. Thank you so much, guys. Let's head to Chocolate.
Eh bien, mesdames et messieurs, nous sommes avec Hydrop, Camille. Petite question. La première question qui me vient, the first question that comes to me is you're on the 9th position. So you're close to the top 5, closer to the top 5. So how will you bring your team to the top 5?
I think we just gotta follow the game plan like we did yesterday, and made a couple changes. Just gotta make sure we don't have any 0-point games, and just stay focused today.
And so you did a great job on consistency, because being top 10, top 9, it's already something very great. Do you feel confident for this second day?
Yeah, I mean, I feel as confident as I can be. I think we're just gonna do our job and try to perform the best we can.
Ils vont faire de leur...
The Shulker, please let me introduce you to my new friend Salco, Ark and School. This is their first ever Fortnite Global Championship, and they're sitting in 12th, which is incredible, boys. How have you found the action so far?
It's been really fun. I'm proud. We're gonna get top 5 today. It's gonna be a beautiful experience.
Interesting. I'm loving the confidence. Where is this coming from?
We're just the best fighting team here, and any trail that runs into us will always just get wiped.
Okay, are you expecting teams to come running into you?
No, we're gonna be running into them.
Interesting. Okay, I can't wait to see you guys dropping from the battle bus today. Good luck, guys. I think, though, we need to hear some more support from the crowd. And Leon, would you like to meet your final teams?
Up next is Shadow, Sphinx, and Muzz. Even with the odds against them, this trio's got no problems with defeating expectations to finish with promising results.
The terror of EU, Flixie, Benno, and Vico. After day 1, they showed their potential with 1 win. Now they need to fully show out in order to steal that top spot.
It's a new day for Razzle, Raito, and Tay-Tay. And after having the night to review, maybe they'll bring some new results with it.
A warm welcome to Pablo, Fonaxi, and Chino. Being contested didn't stop them from getting a victory. Now they just need to continue to take matters in their own hands and win it all.
Watch out, being Malabuka and Wax with the heart of Leon behind them. It just might be all the motivation they need to kick things into overdrive for a strong finish.
Give it up for Chad Reason and Mr. Savage. With 3 games inside the top 6, they've shown experience and firepower. But now it's showing the world.
Snowy, Ryu, and Dog put on quite the show yesterday with their constant box fighting. And if they add some good placements with it, the Middle East might just be due for an upset.
The NA champs, Peterbach, Cole, and Ritual. They're backed up against the wall. There's only one thing they can do. Take over the competition like they've done many times before.
Nothing to lose, but everything to gain. It's Cassie, Tinka, and Aspect. Looks can be deceiving, so don't sleep on some of Oshi's finest. They're ready to lock in.
just a couple of games away from a comeback. It's now or never.
Ooh la la! It's Swizzy, Quizzy, and Mustache! Their gameplay said everything, while their results wrote a new chapter in Fortnite history. This is your moment, so take it!
What do you think of the new look, Leon? I'm starting to feel like a professional Fortnite player, but actually now I need to talk to some. Vico, 7th place right now on the leaderboard. Is
It's kind of hard, but 1% chance, 99% faith. I think Queezy's got this in the bag though, but nothing's impossible, you know?
You seem to be very nice about some of your fellow European teams, also the American ones. I saw you fist pumping some of the North American guys. Is it all love on this stage?
So I think no, it's not all love. There's 0 French players at this LAN. Keep booing me.
Okay, I might give him the sunglasses to put back on. Flixie, let me come to you because you do have top 5 experience from last year. And I want to know how you learned to go even further from last year to this year.
I mean, this year we played first in Global in the first FNCS, so we know how to win and we're going to do it today, so yeah.
Well, I have a feeling these guys are going to start to really enjoy being the villains when they prove themselves in just a few moments. But for now, let's head to Chocker.
Hello back. Cette fois-ci, je suis avec Fredoxy, Pablo Wigo et Gino. Ils ont gagné la dernière partie hier soir. You won the last game
Yesterday, how you feel? Because you are the last one who won a game and you come back. Are you proud of yourself and are you here with a good energy?
Yeah, I mean, we finally got to get loot off spawn, and hopefully we can continue today, winning a game.
Ils vont continuer de gagner aujourd'hui.
So have you tried to change some things or have you moved anything in your plan, in your strategy?
Yeah, we want for youth, of course, but I can't tell too much here.
So let's not thinking about it. Et mesdames et messieurs, la dernière question. Do you feel that the crowd is crazy in France?
No, I don't feel like they're against us, but they're definitely with their face.
They are.
Thank you very much. Let's go back to Frankie.
Thank you very much. I'm just getting visuals and praise to stand up a minute, please, on your feet. You're in 22nd place, okay? We can't afford to have you rest on your laurels here. What's the plan?
I'm just locking in, you know, getting in the flow state.
Just like leaning back in the flight chair. Yeah, that's properly locking in. Aminish, what's the plan?
We're landing on Queasy.
Oh, landing on the hive. That's a very tricky drop spot, though, Brace. It's an incredibly tricky drop spot, the hive, especially when you're up against the players who are at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, we have practiced it in the practice arena a little bit, so we should be able to do it good.
This doesn't believe it. This is really going to happen. You're really going to drop at the hive today.
I guess you'll have to find out.
I think we will have to find out. One last time, please, Leon. Victory!
Guys, let's be honest with ourselves for a moment. There's no way they're gonna land on Queen. There's no way they're gonna land on Queasy right now. There's no way. A little bit of farming going on. I'm pretty sure.
They did a good job of it, right? 2 minutes left to go before the game. We'll actually see what happens, but
Little buzzer beater right there, kind of getting that clip in.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a bit of mind games, I don't know. It's not like they're directly contesting on the leaderboard, right? They're quite far behind. But for that team, you know, they're going to be trying to think about new strategies. What can we actually do to climb our way up in the standings? Because this is a team that we have, of course, seen throughout the year doing pretty well in NA, right? They haven't necessarily had a great season in terms of divisional cuts. They haven't been performing so well. So their form coming into it, this Globals is not so great. But when it comes to this stage, anything can happen. You've got 6 games now. The world's your oyster.
Yeah, I love, I want to call out Benno there. You know, love him or hate him, Benno is a character, bro. Got the walking out ice cold with the shades on, the howling out, hey look, boomy, there's no French trios here though. That's, you know, that's ice cold, Benno.
I mean, yeah, obviously Benno kind of walking out like that, right? A lot of the trios still seeming to be in high spirits, kind of, you know, Pete reminded everybody of the FNCS wins as he comes out as well. But I think there was one of those walkouts that stuck out more than all of the others, right? It is going to be the last one, of course. The crowd giving its utmost, loudest roar, I'm pretty sure, of the weekend so far for Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache, and they deserve it.
And they love it. They absolutely love it. They're playing to it. Their play style sort of panders to it as well, right? Playing that high ground play style, the way they can win games, they can have clutch moments. Even the Fraggers, of course, doing exactly what they do best, is providing highlight reel after highlight reel. They're a great team to watch. So not only, of course, we have 2 players on M8, they're also just great entertainers as a team. You can hear it. They absolutely love them, and for good reason.
Yeah, man, look at Sweezy. She's in there, man. I love to see this. I mean, guys, look, if we get more victory out of this trio today, I will lose my voice, and I feel like everyone in the stands will as well.
Oh, there's
Again,
a storm.
we should be looking at our new local champions. They have such a lead coming into today, and now we have to just hope whatever else is going on, if they're prepared, maybe NA's dropped on them. I don't think so, but, you know, we just got to hope that they hold on strong.
I mean, yeah, they definitely have to, right? Globals, it's been a very rare occurrence for any of our winners who have 12 good teams. So far, they've had 6. If they can continue to do well, pick those top 5s like they have done consistently, so yeah, nobody's going to be able to catch them. But like I already said, very unlikely that they won't have, you know, a bad game in mix. And once they do, that's going to kind of open the gates for all the other trios to kind of catch up.
I'm calling it right here. It's not crazy prediction, I'll be honest. 3T game 1 win. They're doing it. It's such a queasy thing to do. Looking at the VODs, making sure they're adapting to the lobby, coming out of the gate strong. It's such a queasy, Swizzy and Mustache thing to do. They're playing it so well. They might have trouble later on down the line. I think a lot more teams, we see a lot. Quite often in Fortnite tournaments, they need to try and boost their way up in the standings for their own good. So they might try and take height, but that first game, keep an eye on them.
Okay, all right, listen, I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I'm going to say Kanata is going to come back, win 3 more games today, because that's what he personally told me. I'm going to win 4 at LAN. So I got to believe in NA. We're making a resurgence, okay? Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years, okay? Everything's all good to go. But you heard that sound. The battle bus is ready. 6 games here. Championship Sunday. After this, we will know who the new global champions are. It's game time! Almost a year in the making just to get to this global championship. 3 different majors. So much heartbreak, emotion, and passion going into this moment. An 185-point lead for Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache. It's going to take everything that these players have just to take them down, let alone steal away that top spot.
It's always going to be a battle of mental fortitude, though, in a 2-day format, Jacob. And with a whole night to review, I'm expecting to see a lot of adaptation to Pixie. Already feeling a little bit of pressure. Tags applied from a distance, but this is what it's really all about. Rangers ruin for Noxy. Pablo's already down. For Noxy with the sweeper. He's trying to see if he can wrap around, provide a little bit of support measure. Atris is going to fall. This could be everything right now, but Gino is trying to
J'ai commencé à te coller les étiquettes sans mettre les noms ou quoi que ce soit, mais moi, ça va faire prendre de la violence. Tiens, tu peux juste remettre ça, c'est des feuilles en plastique. Merci beaucoup.
And this time around, versus so many other games, they finished this fight rather quickly, minimizing the chance of any third party coming over. And you know, I know, and I think the world is on notice now. When Ferdoxy is able to get off spawn, he goes on runs.
Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache. A little bit of rumblings taking place all throughout the course of the early morning hours, and even leading into this morning inside the player practice room, you heard the possibilities. Maybe Queasy gets contested, but that's not going to be the case, at least not for Game 7. Same scenario taking place for Higgs, Iamzo, and Clicks. And keep in mind, Jacob, these guys are still well within striking range of top 5.
Yeah, 8th place
basically to end the day yesterday, and it's kind of building momentum, building confidence. These guys have all played on the global stage before. They just need to go ahead and channel it. This is day 2, the last chance, 6 games. They just have to leave no regrets left on that table, just like this team here. Contested, uncontested, they made it work no matter what went their way from the Kappa Kappa factory, and now they are just a few big games away from potentially taking a second or even a first place spot, depending how Swizzy, Quizzy, and Merstash continue to perform throughout the day.
And while being uncontested is likely ideal for Seti, Panzer, and Yapko, it does force them to have to revisit where is our search strategy going to come into play. They're not the only ones that have had to take those instances and just rewrite how they want to work it through. Dark Demon's Picks, on the other hand, just lurking, waiting, farming, an epic whale with a dastardly plan.
You said it yourself, lurking, but from one team to another, you're kind of seeing the change up of strategies. Instead of finding out over at Dystopia, it looks like Epic, Paper, and Victor V are ready to make moves. 72 points after day number 1 is a hole that they didn't even expect themselves to be in, especially to start the day. It was Victor V that stopped the momentum from building from Peter by himself by taking him out in a crucial 1v1 to save Epic Well because he was down.
It actually looks like Epic Well, Paper, and Victor V might have visited that bird a little bit too late. iDrop and Co. likely already stripped most of the metal here, and it's just the scraps left behind. Paper, Victor V, and Epic, they didn't exactly have the most primed up loadouts, so they've got to be really wary of that team on Shining Span.
Just kind of taking the risk of not being able to get loot early on, try to get a fight to go their way. We'll see if it does continue to work out, but Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual still spinning that wheel, landing at the outskirts, not contesting Dystopia, and quickly moving on over towards Foxy Floodgates. You know that visuals, raids, and menace typically do land over here. They're already gone position, and that team in front as they're hunting down. But from one side of the map to the next, contested fights still continue. Adapter landing good shots on the pump, forcing him back, and he's kind of separated from the rest of the team. That's going to give Adapter just a little bit of confidence to move on over. But since he doesn't know exactly where all 3 members of this trio are at, it's just a little bit too risky for him to keep that aggression up as Baka, Pars, and Pump all drop down low to that low ground just to refarm what little materials that they do have.
Problem is, both of these teams are now rather isolated, Jacob. They spent a decent amount of time in this position, way far east of everybody else. So now Adapter, Mansoda, they don't even have any materials. They were trying to pounce on this opportunity, but when the time to elimination isn't wrapped up nice and pretty like what we witnessed between Tayson and Prodoxy, you just get these drawn-out exchanges, and it's not necessarily going to benefit either team because they're both really low on materials. They're so far out of the way compared to everybody else. They still gotta push in eventually, and they're not really going to get a whole lot off of the other party, even if one does win the fight. So Adapter, Mansoda, Bad Lord, they spot it out. They know they can't afford to spend any more time. They need to create some space.
Yeah, and I kind of like what you said, where there's not enough resources as well. And you got to realize, even if they do win this fight, especially Baka, Pars, and Pump, they are missing chunks of shield, a little bit of HP, so Storm Surge is not going to be much, even with that elimination there on the Mansoor. Not sure that he didn't get the memo that the rest of his team already rotated out, but that's a blessing in disguise for Baka, Pars, and Pump. Just a little bit of surge, but as I was saying, it's not a ton. So their job isn't done yet. They're going to have to be predators in this lobby to try to hunt and figure out where they can start to accumulate that damage, because yesterday, that was one of their weaknesses. Just like a few of the teams in this lobby, falling below that damage threshold, you kind of lose control over your own game. You have to push teams in which you normally wouldn't push.
The elimination feed certainly lighting up, though, with a chunk of Nox, and Bolts loses his shield, but based off of what we just saw inside of this Surge base, don't think that Bolts is all that pressed for it. See Vanya. It's not like they're gonna have a smooth exit, but Victor B, Epic Whale, they found themselves a little bit too tangled up here. Reek, Curly, and Cooper certainly have a little bit more priority positioning, but Victor B, he's got to try and hold things down. He wants to provide a little bit of relief towards Epic Whale. They just don't have a whole lot to work with in comparison to Curly, who's just trying to charge, see if he can run Epic down, but Reek now taking the forefront positioning. Reek instead going to be left to fall behind as Epic now scattered but that's breathing room.
Yeah, and this is just a tough position. You're seeing both Victor B and Epic Well's loadout. They only have bandages, which is really not going to help them in this situation. No extra shields, which means Epic Well is just one pump away from going down. Victor B and him have to figure it out, but Benno, Flixie, Vico, they're trying to do the same thing. Not necessarily fighting the same off spawn, even with 2 eliminations, quickly rotating away from that cannon's crossing and end up in another exchange against one of Asia's finest, Buyuriru and his whole trio. But you can see neither team just kind of full going all in, just trying to end the fight quickly. There is a little bit of elevation difference, but that's going to go over to Benno, Flixie, and Vico. So now they have the options, the choices of what to do next.
The key part, though, about Benno, Vico, and Flixie is you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile here. And they know that they applied a good amount of damage against Medivh and Buyuriru, so they could be content with the surge that they built up. But knowing those guys, they're definitely out for more. They want at least 1, 2, even 3 eliminations. But Medivh, Wixie, they're going to actually get up close and personal. But Wixie bit off more than he could chew. Vico's going to have no problem shutting that one down. And it's Flixie, credit for 2, Benno with 1. But a nice cleanup all the way through.
Literally just kind of went for an all-or-nothing play, and just the team's timing wasn't there. Medivh got kind of shut down. Buyuriru wasn't able to put down pressure because he had the DMR, but now it's turning around on him. Vico, Flixie, Benno, they're dropping down from above. They know they have a huge numbers advantage. That's why Vico's playing from the top down, trying to cut off any gap. He escapes through towards the top, saves the shot, reassessing the situation, knowing his teammates do have the pressure. It's going to allow the heel jump a little bit higher. Just gets a good shot. Buyuriru doing the same thing. Benno's being forced back, but the numbers are just way too much for them to handle. Vico gets the last lap on the Buyuriru.
If it had been anyone else, might have been a little bit more worried there for Benno, but we hear he still has Flixie and Vico to back him up, no problem. Only 52-18 remains though for Medivh, and whether or not Flixie, Benno, Vico decide to stick around, they might realize there's a third party that could easily roll on over, but they found the solution they needed to, so now they just look to cut off a knot in the process.
Yeah, they got that same feeling that you did. Somebody might be pushing over the fight, might have taken way too long, drawn a lot of attention, and guess it actually has. All the way from across the ocean, OCE from that low side on the map. Storm Surge is going to be one of their biggest worries dropping there. If the zone does pull towards the top, they really have to start to figure out a way to take advantage of it. And with 2 teams here, Vico, Flixie, and Benno, and the solo player that they did leave behind down below, they're just kind of waiting here, getting information. They know Atra's team also lands on this side of the map, so they're trying to figure out where is the easiest possibility to get that damage.
It's just no secret. Anon was very vocal about the fact that he is not a fan of the way Surge has been working zone by zone. Up 1,000 in one, down 300 in another. It's the nature of the game, and it can be brutal at times, but that's exactly why we see them trying to be more proactive, trying to create those aggressive Surge instances. But I'm not sure Benno, Vico, Flixie is the team that you want to take your chances on.
I feel like this is the team right here. Pollo, Agers, and Acorn. 10th place after day number 1. And I feel like the majority of the community had this team in their top 5, in their top 3, possibly winning the entire thing. But now, Acorn, one of the best IGLs, Pollo, one of the best fraggers in the game, and the Agers, the guy that can do it all. They're really going to be tested throughout these 6 games, just like Danny on the eye drop. Haven't left their drop spot, not any bit, but this fight continues to come to them from Epic Well's team to Tay-Tay's team. They're all just trying to get as much Storm Surge's damage because they know that's the kind of currency, that's the flexibility that allows you to rotate early when the zone pulls towards the north. That's something you can focus on versus everybody else.
But these kind of scrappy box fights are exactly where Asia tends to shine, and that's why we see a little bit of reservation there from iDrop, Cammy, and Hottie. They know what kind of position they're currently holding on the leaderboard. They don't want to give it up. Pollo, Agers, and Acorn, they just continue to take advantage of all the objectives surrounding them, even if they have to make some earlier rotates. We saw how difficult their day 1 started out, but by the end of it, we started to see that little bit of a bounce back factor, Jacob, and now with the whole night to actually hit the VODs, I'm so certain that Acorn has definitely cooked up something.
Yeah, in this game round, they did actually get the medallion that lands at Demon's Debris. They have the Mythic, and because of that, they have the A rank, which unlocked that vault, and they have the exotic as well. The Wrecker Revolver that shoots faster with every hit fire. So that's something that we're really going to have to watch out for, especially if they're looking for a
That's
comeback
my
today
team.
through eliminations.
I support
Savage,
that
Chad,
team.
Breeze, and trying to do the same thing. Slow to rotate on out. They're prioritizing getting Storm Surge. A lot of these teams that are slow to rotate, those are the ones that are making a focus on this fight.
This is a big turnaround right now, though. It's only Cammy and Hydra left to duke it out up against some of Asia finest, but they're going for the double revive. It's a little bit greedy, but Tay-Tay, he's actually the only healthy member. They're gonna opt for possibly trading out revives, but no, Tay-Tay recognizing just too far away. Crash pad out, going for the escape, but Hydra and Cammy aren't gonna be able to give pursuit, at least not right away. But there's nowhere left for him to run. Tay-Tay, he's just gonna have to pull off bail.
And sometimes you just really don't get a choice. They're trying to bring all the loot back into their box. They know other teams potentially nearby, but Adi's the one that really kind of opened up that opportunity, gets the knock, and the rest of the team was there. And that's a confidence boosting feeling, knowing your entire team has your back. You can make a move, sometimes but even not saying anything. Clicks, Pigs, and Yamzo. Kind of, I wouldn't say changing up their overall strategy, but all three of them as a team, they plan towards those RVs just outside of the Supernova Academy. They get as much of that brick as possible, which kind of maxes out for the most part, and then they go and loot Supernova Academy. Try to get all the loot. I know everybody hears the crowd roaring right now. Swizzy, Mustache, and Queasy, business as usual. Getting their early game Storm Surge, getting their early game breakups, and then accessing the ball.
And the main thing to take note of here, Jacob, is that these guys aren't changing anything. Queasy, Swizzy, and Mustache are running this back as if we're still in day one, despite it being game 7. And if nobody's going to force them to change their strategy, it's hard to believe that Queasy won't end up taking over Hype later on.
Definitely a possibility. They're in first. They don't have to change up anything. Nobody even looked up yesterday. But Cooper and Curly find themselves in a peculiar situation. 2v3 versus the NA West champs, Bakapars and Pump. But Curly's doing a good job holding down his walls, holding down his defensive and fighting back, forcing the Flowberry Fizz out on the other side. The triple hill is going to get him back into action that much quicker. But they're just at the edge of zone with not far to rotate before they make their way in. That's going to give them the luxury to stay a little bit longer, but a massive haymaker on the Pars. That's going to slow things down just a little bit and continue to build the confidence for Cooper and Curly.
Cooper and Curly are really having their mettle tested this weekend. It's so unfortunate that they had to leave Reed behind, but they are still a powerful duo that can definitely pop off with a strong performance here. One singular clutch could be all the momentum shift that they need. Cooper has been here so many times before, Jacob, and he knows that they've got to try and capitalize, but they have no idea what kind of duo is crouch lurking behind them. By Lord and Adapter, they've also encountered some early struggles, losing Mansour since he didn't get the memo, and Adapter, by Lord, they don't even get the chance. They thought they were going to get the jump on Cooper and Curly, but instead it's been 180.
They're almost 500 damage below the threshold. Cooper Curly, they don't see if it activates. They won't be able to get that visual, but they will hear the shields crack if it does come down to it. But they're just kind of hunkered down below, biding their time as much as possible. Time that they may not necessarily have. They have extra shields in their loadout, but they don't have any extra HP heals. Sooner or later, they might be pushed into a situation where they have to get elimination, especially now that a whole nother duo starts to make their way in. That's one less chance, but Storm Surge activates, making it just a little bit easier as Cooper and Curly have to go, and they have to go now. It's a 2-tick, they're on the clock, and but Cooper does it, he jumps on him from above to get the siphon.
But the same can't be said for Curly. He has no siphon to profit off of just yet. They're going to have to find another elimination. They're going to have to find it now. Adapter has fallen. Cooper and Curly just continuing to make something out of nothing here. But by Lord, that surge stick is just destroying him. The shield crack goes up yet again. He's using every single bit of healing resources he has, and it's still likely not going to be enough.
And like I said, the shield crack, that's a giveaway for Curly Cooper, and immediately turn around, tried to land shots. Balor's doing just that, and he barely gets himself above that damage threshold, and he knows he cannot go back for his teammates' reboots card. This is a solo journey from here on out for him, and he does some good damage yet again. Will he pick up the elimination? We'll wait and see, but Pixie, Vanya, and Marius, you can see the zone just outside of OXR HQ. These guys have been smooth sailing so far in this game.
Marius and Pixie being the top two players for shotgun damage and moving zones says enough, Jacob. These guys have been getting fraggy, and they plan to continue their streak, especially with all the company that's starting to dogpile around them.
Saw in the distance, Baka, and I believe R is both going down. Looking to get cleaned up by Chap, Savage, and Reason. 410 damage above the threshold. Slap dab in the middle of the zone as well. Cold, Ritual, and Peterbot. I was talking to them before today. They didn't have too many game plans other than just play better. They know their performance yesterday was abysmal, and that's just a huge fire underneath their belt to do just that. Have a good comeback, and Chino just finds on the other side. That's Anon all the way from OCE, but his teammates are coming.
Those circles are getting small.
Multiple players trying to push in, but for Doxy making sure to save the day. Down goes Resigns, and up goes their chances to win this fight.
Just look at the way that Ferdoxy and Chino played this box fight, though. So many separate angles opened up at once. Resign's HP just disappeared. Ferdoxy and Chino still looking to try and hold things down, too, here, Jacob. They're fully aware of the fact they've done enough to at least push Oshi back temporarily, but that's not to say that it has had the same effect on the Polish counterparts directly next to where they're located.
They do have that extra med kit down below, just in case.
52 pesos, that's a lot, that's
trying to come back for revenge. She knows he'll be the first one to go down. Well placed shot by Alex. He had all the power behind that one, forcing Ferdoxy to try to back up and get the revive. The audio visual is coming out. Ferdoxy trying to reposition. He has to let the cone go. He has to let his teammate go down. That one quickly cleaned up, but it doesn't mean he has to stop fighting back. With 2 versus 1 in this situation, and him being slightly on the edge zone, if not out, he has to start getting information that is vital to his success. And even one more team going down, he'll start to get placement points on top.
The problem as a solo, though, is that there's only so many directions you can look at once, and overhead, Swizzy, Mustache, Queasy, they're already starting to break through. You saw that first knock.
Why not still try this with
Swizzy, and he's still after another Ritual and Peterbot. They don't even realize they're being shot from underneath, but it's actually Sphinx who's taking down Peterbot in this lobby. Shadow from behind, never seen it coming. Swizzy got that elimination and Mud trying to save his teammate's life, but can the double revive actually come to fruition with Swizzy applying so much pressure?
Yeah, multiple players, and he has that exotic, which is so much damage, just tearing through those builds. But you can see as Sony was his own, pulled on over, they kind of brought themselves back. Probably we have to start to rotate. This zone is vital for our success. If we can get high ground here, that could be our 4th game win. But while one team's having an easy game, Iamzo and Clicks, with one of them being down, Iamzo's trying to get him back up. They have 1 crash pad left in their inventory, 6 flashes for the HP if they need it, some Flowberry Fizz, but it is a far pool for a duo to have.
A little bit sad there for Mustache. He really wanted to see if he could get a good chunk out of Acorn Agers and Foy on that rotate, but crash pads are out along with the Flowberry Fizz. Yamzo's immediately going to try to claim a position towards the front side, but holds back for a second here. A little bit split from Clicks. Clicks going to build right back up where his teammate's at. He needs some of these chuck splashes, but of course, another rotate. There is no.
What if someone just put a big airstrike on that whole area? That would be pretty cool. If someone put a whole airstrike on the last circle, I would do that. That would be pretty cool. That would be really cool.
It's absolutely amazing. Swizzy, Mustache, and Queasy making it look easy. Down below, everybody is at their disposal. And this is where we know what they do. They just target out second height over and over and over. They
just in this random
way. So teams are going to have to think of something different here compared to yesterday.
Savage Chef and Reason seem like they're a little bit more intent on just trying to stake out these front side rotations. But for Clicks and Yamzo, it's likely going to be a backside of zone play. They're going to have to find a refresh. They have hardly any materials to work with. Yamzo doing what he can to drop whatever builds he can for Clicks, but
It's just
there's
no one down
nowhere
there
safe to turn
when you
out
look up.
through
It's like,
inside of these lower layers. Everybody is frazzled here. Yapko, Pender, and Seti also in a very strong top 3 position. They want to hold on to it, Jacob.
They don't want to let it go. They work
they really
way too
always
hard
have the
to get
same
this
skins
far.
between
To
the
go down here
same
in
team.
15th place.
35 players this year for that stores to go for it, man.
Players to fight one another. Even though they have to
Downright
rotate to
go
the
with these
zone, they're
people in
trying
that
to keep
circle.
their third
Pretty
place
nasty,
spot
man.
intact. They're only 8 points behind as we stand in this game for Dash Wizzy.
Like, what I would do is probably like completely metal base me, completely like, you know, metal box me all the way down, and then bomb down the rest of all the stuff with a big airstrike like a host or something.
Everybody's been chopped up. They're all falling down. Agers has been eliminated. Boyo and Acorn trying to go right back up on the height, but it's Maluka. It's Lux. It's Ping. They're the ones that have fully overthrown the high ground. They're the ones that are ready to find their first victory royale.
Mustache Squeezy still as a duo, but they're still holding that first place spot. Kanata is going to go down. Only 3 of the teams in our top 5 still alive. For Stash Squeezy, they're trying to be heroes, but Squeezy not only takes a big shot, he loses Squeezy. For Stash has to figure out a way to reunite into the same box. They do that very, very quickly, but it's not going to matter. Squeezy goes down. For Stash gets the elimination, but he's all by himself.
The family sacrifice might have been everything that they needed, though. For Stash, Tarby like a madman, just trying to block off every possible angle. He knows there might be an opening, a teammate underneath that's just so much worse off than he currently is. But instead, it's both Kanata and Rapid. He's looking to play spoiler, but he can't get enough damage applied. For Stad, still, somehow, some way, tarping through this middle layer, and nobody seems to be cutting him off just yet. But he's
Compare
running out
that
of
to when they
material,
just
and
started
Malibu
playing.
watched him overhead. They've lost Ping. Ping thought that he could take out Darm in the process. Instead, he loses so light.
Somehow, Rapid, Kanata, Bolts all still alive on the low ground. Even with Bolts going down, they got the front side of zone and a chance to get the revive. A couple eliminations being cleaned up. Vico trying to stay alive. Malabuka and Walk still on high ground, raining and fire down from above. They get that knock on the
10 plays left.
and you see the Flowberry Fizz coming
Maybe
out.
can't
They're
see.
getting ready.
It's
The
10 plays left.
inevitability, the drop down from above. It comes in. Kanata gets cleaned up. The siphon comes into play. Walks is doing damage. Malabuka is causing pain.
Watch of Malabuka, they might just be able to do it, Chap. Not going to be able to withstand the pressure here. Malabuka with a huge cleanup shot. Watts now just needs to seal this one
So
out.
true.
And just like that, Malabuka and Watts, they take down Pixie. And that's going to be the first victory royale here in Game 7.
A night and day difference when it comes to how these end games played out. Yesterday, not a single team looked up. Today, 1, 2, 3 or more teams try to fight for it, and it's Malabuka, Watts, and Pings that took it over.
Yep, buddy.
Let's get you up on your feet. Your fans want to see you. The Havok fans want to see what? The mates want to see Ping and Malabuka. Malabuka, just one question really from me. What took you so long?
I don't know. We were not sure what's going first day, but maybe we'll figure out something today.
You definitely figured something out. You managed to take the high ground from the high ground kings led by Queasy. Was this something you worked on, managing to take high ground from the top spot?
I mean, it was pretty high ground this game, so we just grab it.
So do you have the Americans to thank for taking it first and chopping the boys on top?
No, we just all.
Just everyone. So why would you I'm gonna actually head over to the top.
What? Do you have a
supporting you and your teammates? Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out, supporting us and watching us play. It means the world. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up and come back today.
And do you think you're keeping consistency now that you start the day with an amazing victory
Royal, do you think you'll
Victory Royal.
keep your consistency? Yeah, of course. If we're gonna get some good zone kills, I think we'll be able to win this day and come back.
Malabuka, just before I let you get ready for the next game, have you got anything you'd like to say?
Where did that guy come from, bro? Where did he come from? He went from... I know, that guy was cheating. That guy was cheating. Guy was hiding. Big smart question. Where did that guy come from, bro? Where did he come from? He went from... I know, that guy was cheating. That guy was cheating. I was hiding. What's my username been changed? Five. Because I kind of look like behind.
I needed some. I needed.
I'll change this. This is a clip. Where's that bank one? Oh, it's coming. Cut the safe phone off.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Fortnite Global Championship. This is day number 2, Game 7, the first of the day. Malibuca Pink Walks get a victory royale. They take away high ground from Queasy. We've only seen some attempt that incredible task so many times, but in game number 1 of the day, to start things off, Malibuca sends it. I can't believe it is even possible, right? We talked about how secure we thought Queasy was as soon as he was able to get up on the high ground. I can't lie though, but it kind of felt like it was the team effort, right? Multiple teams kind of going for it. At the end of the day, though, Malibuca Walks and Ping, they were the ones that waited for the exact right moment. And oh my gosh, man, Malibuca in the mix. I know I need these eliminations to soar up the leaderboard.
Yeah, what was crucial about this high take is, of course, we saw Queasy on right at the beginning of that end game. Then we saw Acorn's team going up to try and take it. They actually were successful in that high take. The crucial thing that actually ended up allowing Malibuca to take high was that zone hold back. That 10th zone hold back over. Of course, it allowed Malibuca to save all those materials that they would have expended by extending out. They could then use that to then take height. So really well played end game from these guys. More of the same needed. I think they made a few adjustments early game as well because things were going a little bit wrong for them at the beginning of the game yesterday. And this is what they can do when they make it to it.
So insane, man. I love that we're starting to attack high ground, right? Like, we know high ground wins games, in some cases wins tournaments, and now as you turn attention to those standings, look at this. This lead is not what it once was, right? Now we're starting to close up. We're trying to say, Queasy, hold on a minute. Let's not get crazy here. 570 points. Oh man, I mean, look, we still got a lot to do if we're hoping to catch Queasy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're talking about it. The lead isn't what it once was, but it like barely moved. I'm pretty sure, but 170 points still very, very comfortable for them. And this is kind of what Minnie was talking about as we were watching the game, because he was like, yeah, I mean, you know, they're down, still potential for Mustache to go ahead and solo clutch, but this is kind of the exact game they need. They don't need to soar ahead. They just kind of need to pick up enough points to kind of fend off the competition.
Yeah, this is technically their worst game of the weekend, right? I think they got 7th in this game, but still, oh no, we're wrapping up. But still, it's still a good game. They made it to end game. They took height. They did what they know how to do. Again, unfortunate, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, day 2, people are going to go for height. So things are going to look a lot different. Maybe that's now an adjustment. To them. But it's not bad for them. They're still getting points. They're still clutching when it matters.
The result won't show it. But I just cannot believe how quick and decisive this team can like switch strategy on a dime. We saw them on the higher ground, right? Acorn trio, they crash padded up, and they were instantly fighting for it. And was shooting up and trying to break out Acorn's trio to prevent them from actually screwing that up. It was literally instant.
So good, and that's what makes Queasy such a great IGL. He has those things on block, whether it's to try and retake height, whether it's to actually then drop down and try and take a different position.
Yeah.
As long as you're all doing the same thing, that's what's most important. When you get teams that are trying to split, one's going up, two going down, it doesn't work. Queasy's got that team really, really well prepped, understanding it's my call, whether we go up, whether we go down, they're all the same thing.
And I kind of talked about it, right? They defended it. They defended against the take from Acorn.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Malibuca's trio just way too aware of what was going up on the high ground.
They kind of joined in on the fight. We're like, hey, listen,
you guys can keep fighting, we'll take the height. That is crazy. We have a list in from that last game. Let's see how things were going for Queasy.
Watch our height. Wait, take it. I'm on the... I have it, 100. I have it. I'm gonna get a shot. Yeah, you need to...
Crazy stuff there. Hope you guys at home could hear it, because I sure couldn't. This crowd is going crazy. They stand behind Queasy, okay?
Yeah.
They know who they want to champion. They know who they want to win. Man, oh man, but for the trio, right, to be in this kind of situation, I love those adaptations. I'm almost curious, right? Now that they had someone to test them, now I almost wonder, what are they thinking going into this next game, right? What kind of little micro adjustments are we going to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Yeah, in this scenario, I would not want to be Queasy, right? Because he's kind of got to be the guy that decides that for his trio. Hey, listen, do we kind of give up on the whole high ground thing? Obviously, that is our best strategy, but, you know, we're kind of have this comfortable lead to where if we kind of just play mid-ground or low ground and make sure that we pick up, you know, a decent placement every single game, we'll still hold on to the lead.
Or do they just play what they know?
It's these moments where champions are made, right? When things aren't quite going your way, when something happens that you didn't expect, how do you adapt to that? How do you courage to say, right, you know what, let's change up what we're doing, let's maybe loot in a different area, let's try and look at other teams that storm surge early on, because it looked like they were a little bit lower down than we've seen them in previous games. Maybe we change the way that we play our end games. That courage is what makes champions champions.
That is crazy, you know. Yeah, you have that comfortability. How do you say, look, we have to break what we know.
Yeah.
If we want to be champions. Maybe that's the answer. Let's go back to these standings, though, and start taking a look at the second page and see kind of where things are going. Wanted to highlight here Mr. Savage showing up here in this final end game, having a good game. We still need work, right? There's still work to be done, but having, you know, starting to kind of pick up steam, starting to pick up momentum with 5 games more to go. I'm excited to see what else they bring.
I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't move at all from 11th, right?
Yeah.
They were in the mix during that end game right there. I think it was Mr. Savage from the trio, who took some of the splashes out into the storm early on to make sure that they ended up clutching up. I mean, it's great to see them in the mix. Obviously, you know, making it to the end game pretty often, but 11th place, they seem to be kind of stuck to that position on the leaderboard right now.
Yeah, and I think that just speaks to how high quality these end games are, right? They're very top heavy end games. Lots of our teams that are doing well already are making end games and still doing well. So it's very tough for the teams that are a little bit lower down to sort of break into that upper echelon of placement. But if they keep the consistency going, if Savage can keep clutching up like this, having that IQ that we know he has, just to be able to have that experience, that understanding of the game, to sit back into the storm, try and farm out as many placements as possible, they can try and mount an attack here on the top 10.
I mean, yeah, look at that. Top 5 with 8 eliminations. Insane work from them. Obviously, the clutch kind of coming in, and they just don't move on the leaderboard, man. Yeah. It's just so tough out there. You know what's crazy, too? Think about this year, right? Mr. Savage comes in, he's like, guys, wiping my hands, I'm not competitive.
Yeah.
And then here we are on a global stage putting on this performance.
I'm interested interested to see whether this can sort of reignite that sort of love that he has for the game, right? The grind factor that he has, his burning passion, desire to want to win an FNCS, because I really hope it does. I think this is a great opportunity for him. They're not doing bad. They're in 11th place. They're just coming back with a really good game. They have the firepower. We've seen them performing very well in the end game as well. Maybe this is the sort of a beam of hope, if you like, for him for going forward. And we want to see him. Everyone in the EU, we all love him. We were all very sad when he announced that he was retiring, but very happy when he came back. And now he's here. What a story.
Oh my gosh. Also, we can't forget Clicks as well, right? NA. He's coming back. Don't even worry about it. He's putting on a show for us here. Again, though, the job is not done, right? We do have 5 more games, but 5 is going to dry up so quickly, Vivid. So for not only Clicks' trio, but for every other trio, we really need to make sure our strategy is locked tight.
It felt like yesterday I was almost begging for a game from Clicks' trio to just please make it to the end game as a healthy trio. You know, give them an option, give yourselves an opportunity to show your game plan, show how good you are, show how good of a year you've had over on the NAC region. Again, right there, game number 7, a whole night's of rest, opportunity to go over it. Takes us down early.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's not the ideal start for them. They've made it to the end game, which they've been doing quite consistently well so far. They're not in a bad position by any means. And I think they just need that one big game. Ideally, sooner the better, right? Because they're a team that does thrive on hype. I know Clicks is one of the biggest streamers, if not the biggest streamer in Fortnite. He lives off of the people watching him. He wants to be in the spotlight. He wants to have that moment to himself. And that could almost catapult them. That could give them that confidence, instill that confidence back in them for the rest of the games. For them, they've just got to try and make something happen in the end game. More so, as you said. Stay as a trio, make something happen, and hopefully feed off of that hype and confidence.
Maybe that's a VR and getting rallied behind, like the crowd, right? Like having them to push you over the line to kind of start to build that momentum. But I like what you called out, the sooner the better, right? And it's not even just them, it's everyone, right? These little strategies with only 5 games. Guys, it's only 5 games. If we're going to try and pull out some kind of strategy, if we're going to try and swap our drop spot to land on someone else, it has to happen now, right? Like if we're not in this top 10, we got to get ourselves in there.
I mean, the best time to do it would have been last game, but the best time is now, right? This is the time to switch things up. I think this is an important moment for the teams, right? They've had a little feel as to what the lobby's looking like, well, what teams are doing around them, which is so crucial.
Yeah.
It's all well and good looking back at the games from yesterday. It's a completely different day. Everyone's doing different things.
Yeah, and I'll touch on the last couple of few points here from that game specifically, right? We even saw Venno. He was kind of up on the high ground. He was kind of, you know, tutoring with the idea that he could maybe take it from like 8th zone on some kind of build up for it and actually end up like fighting for it or trying to defend it. But hey, listen, they were kind of thinking about it. And then obviously Kanada's trio finding themselves in the mix towards the end game as well.
Guys, you know I love breaking down things between the games. But I'm getting word it is almost that time to kick back into all of it. Never mind! That's the battle bus, so you know what time it is. Game 8 starts now.
Having a little bit too much fun with it, but you know there's so much fun to go around. We just couldn't keep it all to ourselves, Jacob. So Lepin, why don't you give a big hello to everybody here for Game 8?
I had to get involved in the action tackle. I mean, the games have been way too good. I couldn't watch for too long. I just wanted to jump in for at least the one game. If you'll have me.
I'm happy, bro. We can be here for the rest of the day. We can just put a day 3 tomorrow. We can just cast all those games. But Lepin, this fight, one that's been going all weekend long.
It's been relentless. Prodoxy's trio have had the better of them of late. But can they do it again? We know both teams can do incredibly well when they survive on board. But surviving part is the hardest.
And that's the real issue here, Lepin, because Tyson, Chicho, Atris is the most split that we've ever seen both of these teams drop. But we know exactly what comes next. If they're not quick with these eliminations, if they don't clear this out fast enough, somebody else is bound to roll on over.
That one looks a bit different. We're used to seeing these guys get to scrapping straight away. Both teams getting some time to loot up.
Venom actually got that first elimination on the Toyota. It looked like Yuma was trying to play aggressive and try to clean it up, but Venom just created so much distance, it made it too much of a risk to continue to try to push it down. But back and forth, these Osmond battles looking to get chaotic more and more so. Tayson almost piecing one up, but they found an exit. Chicho is in the struggle. He goes down. That's the first one knocked, but Fredoxy's down as well. That's going to be a 2v1 situation with Tayson getting knocked. It's all a Chris to try to get away. He's scrambling around. He evens the fight up with a knock onto Pablo.
But the damage has already been done. Gino's just not healthy enough to stick around. He can't even attempt to play for that revive onto Pablo.
And this is why these off-spawn battles between these two teams have been happening so quickly. Both teams are aware that once they take a second too long, this trio is going to roll on in and make it a nightmare again. Gino able to get away, and maybe his trio still has hope in this game, but not the start either teams would have wanted that.
And they're still going to have to revisit some other method to reestablish all of that lost surge from those full eliminations. But Gino, still, a bit of a mastermind play there. He knew the fail was the perfect moment.
This is it right now. Uncontested yet again, but the biggest difference from that last game to every other game before, there's more and more players looking up. There's more and more teams ready to contest it. But they realize there's only 6 games left throughout the entirety of the day. 5 now with 1 already done. And their chances to overcome that point deficit is going right out the window.
I mean, watching it on the sidelines, it doesn't look like anything really can get in these guys' way. I think they show their ability to still get so many points out of games, even if it's a game where it doesn't quite go their way. One of them still able to clutch. Can anything stop them today, Taco?
And that's the thing, though, is can anything stop them? Not necessarily, but can anything catch up to them? There's nothing scarier, in my mind, than a wounded animal, and that's exactly the position that Peterbot Cold and Ritual have been in after yesterday. But Gazetta away, Scarpa, they picked up exactly what they needed to. Gino's not going to have that opportunity to try and play hero.
Uh-oh, the third parties, maybe in this case, going to be a 4th party overall. They're trying to move in, Braids, Visuals, and a Minish. They realize with 105 points, that's not nearly enough, or at least not close to what they thought they'd have. So they're now just going on the hunt. Eliminations, 4 points each. They look at Gazetta, they look at Way and Scarpa. That's 12 possible points. 1 less team in their pack, and a chance to try to at least steal away some of this loot and XP.
Thinking about Gazetta, Way, and Scarpa having priority control right now, though, on the Queen. Braids and Minish Visuals, they see just how distracted Gazetta, Way, and Scarpa truly are. They are lurking, they are creeping up ever so steadily, perfectly concealing themselves. But this is where patience and trigger discipline really come into effect.
Another team. That's a 5th party. A 5th party is now coming in towards the side. So even though Braids and Minish and Visuals are trying to lurk and grab some eliminations, surprise attack 1, they could be the one. Instead of going for a lurk, they just immediately take the high ground. They said, hey, if you guys want to rotate out of Ranger's Ruin, you're going to get tagged up the entire time.
Minish's team waiting in the wings. When that opportunity opens up, they will be ready to take it. But which team is going to play their hand first? Who will make that first move and knock the domino over?
Just a little bit of a stare down currently. Ganu, Disco Striker. While they had seemed initially so intent on getting involved, the way that they now just put everything to a pause, surely this got to work out for Visuals.
Right, we know in this lobby the pressure for Surge also high. Time is the less time to have to get Surge later on. Someone has to do something quickly, and I think they're starting to realize that.
Oh, but yeah, I think everybody's realizing things aren't pushing. They're not happening as quick as they should. The 3rd parties don't have their opportunity to learn 4 eliminations. So Striker, Kado, Tisco, they're going to be the first ones rotating on out. But Arc School and Salvo, look, instead of going towards the south, typically they were fighting that team. Kado, Vortex, Goofy, and Mountain are going to be in their line of sight. School missing a crucial shot. They are in the zone, so every second is just more damage being ticked off. Salvo's going to be the first one dropped, though NA West is now in danger.
Art, he was doing so much. Carries team yesterday, but School not going to have that opportunity. Vortex, Goofy, and Mountain defend their current hold, but it's
know things are looking good for their MA boys right now. Uh-oh. Pixie will be fine. I'm sure the revive will come through. Got me excited there for a second. You know, I like action. I like seeing the lot.
You were excited that you noticed that it was done by both, and then immediately you came back
I
in.
quickly remembered, Taco.
A little bit of that race action.
What is that? Okay, there's a third party, there's a fourth party, the fifth party towards the north. Okay, we got a sixth party now joining Rangers Ruin. Honestly, when Rangers Ruin first appeared, this is the team that said, hey, we're ready to take a triple contested fight against Proxy and Taste Trio. They ended up changing things up a little bit, but now they're going back to that home base where they first called it. Now they're just trying to get damage onto anybody, and this might be a good plan for a team like Cold Peterbot Ritual that's had struggles throughout the first 6 games on day 1. They're trying to figure out the formula for success here.
It's about the struggles. It's more that they've just been homeless. There's nowhere on the map that they've been able to establish themselves. But the crash back from overhead, getting the jump onto Sparkbug, that is a big opening factor here for Peterbot Ritual and Cold.
And here's the thing about this team is they know how to fight. They know how to play for Surge. And I think that's why we see them in the top 10. It's just they kind of have the little hiccups, the little speed bumps towards the end game, maybe getting a little bit too aggressive, playing as individuals, and we do see them kind of stuck as duos. This game around, I want to see a change up. I want to see no matter what happens, right or wrong play, they stick as a full trio, because when you do that, sometimes miracles can happen. But you're seeing kind of one side, the north side of the map, kind of getting a little aggressive. Teams just trying to push each other in order to get their Storm Surge on the south side of the map with the zone pulling over in this direction. This is where you're going to see more and more of those Surge bases set up.
A lot more time to accrue some damage. A lot more flexibility here. Hands up. Big weekend for him. And he's delivering so far with 2 experienced land players. Shown that he can hold his own steady. Isn't a fan favorite. The crowd aren't loving Seti, but Seti is used to not being the favorite. He's used to people doubting him. So he won't let that bother him too much.
Still over here in the zone, kind of favoring them out of all 3 trios that are. Looks like he knew exactly where those shots came from.
And look, I fully understand that Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold, these guys are such prominent players on their region and just considered top players overall. But even still, there's only so many drops that you can actually practice efficiently, and that has been a real thorn in their sides throughout this weekend.
Oh, no! The classic! They dropped down the Surge base, and with that fall damage, that's easy Surge for them. It's raining loot, and a chance for them to come back.
That is so sweet.
Not for paper. Victor Epic Whale. But one team's slip up, a little bit caught lacking. That's exactly what the adaptations you have to kind of anticipate heading into a day 2 format.
On the feed, Gage is going from that to getting another knock around the map. Canada bolts, rapid. They haven't had to move far from their actual initial drop spot. You see them saving the truck down below for those extra heals. Seeing Rapid just trying to eye out the land right now. He is the IGL for the team, just trying to figure out where players are currently at, deep into the zone, and where they need to start to rotate to so they have to ease congestion. And in the background, you see Swizzy, Mustache. That's the team that you gotta think that Kanata just spotted out, and you know what they're.
They want it, but are they going to actually be able to grab it with Kanata, Bolt, and Rapid so close by? Hard pressed to believe that Kanata would let. They've just been playing their own methods, and it's worked out heavily for them.
Team with such little experience, but you could never tell from watching them in the lobby. Set game plan, set structure, and excellent execution. Young Bulls continue to make their mark in this lobby, but there is still plenty to do. Acorn and Ages have plenty to do here. Boyo gonna have to be picked up.
Somewhere along the way, they might be able to find him, but if they aren't able to bring him back, it's a lot. It's basically an uphill battle for Acorn and Azers. First Dash, Swizzy, and Queasy, though, they're still able to make their way towards the bunker. So Kanata, Rapid Bolts, probably thinking better, not really willing to get caught up in this instance, but maybe they choose to wait outside. Maybe it's somebody else entirely that might be looking to shut Queasy down.
There's very few teams, Levin, that can even access this vault this early on in the game. So even though they're not that close to another, they have to rotate towards that OXR HQ. They have to rotate towards the south. So Ravania and Marius and Pixie, they're going to be able to kind of see Mustache, Swizzy, and Quizzy. If they've memorized their outfits throughout the course of the game, they're definitely going to get that 100% confirmation and a chance to take them down if they're going to take it.
Absolutely. That's something Vanya will keep track of. So we'll see if that ends up leading to a clash between the two teams. It's something Vanya predicted would happen. He said he wants to play for Hyde today. We'll see if he's a man of his word. For reason, Chap and Mr. Savage have done incredibly well at times throughout this competition, but speaking to Mr. Savage today, I feel like we can do even better. We've got another gear to go out.
Multiple games yesterday inside of the top 6. Can you imagine going from, hey, I'm done with Fortnite, to a chance to win even more money, continue to build your legacy, and for someone like Chap, he's a youngin'. You know what I mean? He's still earning his stride, earning his respect, and he's doing it in such a good fashion. The road through Major 3 to get that qualification spot and showing up big in day 1. And now they got to learn on Spinks, Muzz, and Shadow, waiting for the countdown. 3, 2, 1, Spinks goes down. Reason, Chap, Savage, they're ready to start this fight. That's going to get cleaned up with ease, but instead of running away, they realize with a 3v2, it's now or never. They need the point if they want to climb that leaderboard.
Reason, Chap, and Savage, they're trying to be as quick as possible. They don't want to allow the opportunity for Muzz or Shadow to escape, but they're just not fast enough. Chap, Reason, Mr. Savage, they're going to have to be content with the body loot off of Spinks alone. But Chap still sees he can try and pull out a little bit more here. Good tag into Shadow's HP bar. They've got Muzz a little bit cornered, but Chap, Reason, Mr. Savage, this is the zone, and they know if they clear out Muzz and Shadow, they're going to have free rotation path with nobody left behind them.
See, Reason, his instincts are to make plays happen. You don't want to be too ambitious. Don't want to give them any room to put your team in a bad situation. Mr. Savage taking a big chunk of damage, and that will slow things down just a moment. And again, they did well to get the first. Of course, they want even more out of this. They know these guys are going to be weak. These guys are going to be on the back foot. So they'll continue to pressure. But let's not make any mistakes here, boys.
Yeah, they're out of zone. They're kind of thinking not too many teams even hear the noise against Deadaway and Scarf, but they definitely do, and they're moving in. But Muzz goes down. Chap's trying to finish this fight, and they do so. Savage takes down Shadow, but the third party is now making it hard for them to survive.
That's the way to do it. You saw Savage, Chap, both shotguns in hand, playing together, taking advantage of the man advantage, and now that puts them in a much more favorable position. Well played from Chap, Savage, and Reason.
Not the same story though for Clicks. Visuals brazen and diminished since it didn't work out at Rangers Ruin. They're gonna have to find that surge elsewhere. And unfortunately, it's only Clicks, last man standing from his team. No way he's gonna be able to withstand the pressure of Braves. Visuals of Minish coming out on top.
Not every day you see teams carrying away that minigun just to melt through those builds. You're not going to be able to hold the box at all, but this is exactly how that fight started. A lurk play coming out of a minute. He dropped a mini shed on Hate's head, and they went in and cleaned up that last elimination on the Clicks.
And you can see the frustration on Clicks' face when he went down. Such a frustrating way to get out of this game. They'll have to hit the drawing board.
Malabuko walks being all it takes is a quick pan over. And MA is going to send a surging roar through this arena. That has got to be such an amazing feeling. But Saw a glimpse of Mustache just now. This could be trouble brewing for both of these teams.
Yeah, and Taco, you'll know better than anyone else. Commentating over this trio this year, they're so good when it comes to momentum. They pick up that first win, they keep things rolling. This game will be a big sign of whether or not these guys are really here to play in this competition, whether it was a one-hit wonder.
Especially after that Game 7 win being in such a commanding fashion, too. But that's the gameplay that we were almost expecting to see in day one. But as long as they manage to capture that kind of performance in this secondary day, there might not be a point amplifier, but there's still plenty of opportunity to catch up on some positioning in the leaderboard.
Yeah, I'm always saying you gotta leave no regrets behind when you play on such a big stage like this with a huge life-changing amount of money. And I think yesterday some teams may have played just a little bit too safe compared to how they played during the majors to qualify for this local championship. Being able to go back last night, file your view, and really figure out what was going wrong. You're seeing a more aggressive pace coming out from some of these teams. Not exactly every step of the way, but when they get a key knock, when they get some good damage, they're now starting to play more and more aggressive, and most importantly so, more and more teams, just like Pollo, Aegis, and Acorn that we see here, are willing to contest that high ground in the later portions of this game.
Gentlemen, will certainly be happy to see Pollo back up and in the running, but you have to wonder, Levin, what does their surge actually look like? They seemed a bit desperate there, trying to find some additional surge trades with Aegis, Acorn, and Pollo, but it's the backdrop pressure. Hydra catching Acorn completely off guard, but there's such a direct path that they have to take into zone. They can't sit outside any longer, and it's just making them too prone to being kicked off in this process.
It's going to be a tough game to fight your way back into. So many of our teams here just set up so well. Everything looking incredibly cozy for Demus and picks right now. And they'll continue to pressure some of the teams looking to make their way on into that safe zone.
Just gotta let it sit and appreciate it after all. But Pollo, gentlemates, they can hear everything surrounding them. But Pollo, he's gonna look to try and close in on their surge rates again. Desperation factoring in heavily 500 below. They've got to get damage online. They've got to do it ASAP before they find themselves being taken out of this lobby entirely. Pollo, Aegis, scrambling, but it's not enough. They can't stand tall. Heavy, Hardy, and Hydra now benefiting exclusively from the psychic materials.
And you can smell the desperation on those guys, and they capitalize. Unfortunately, it was always going to be an uphill battle for Pollo and his trio. That was a tough game, but there's still a couple more for them to get back in it. Cammy, though, now looking much better off after being able to pick up some of them cypher nets.
Yeah, and it was actually iDrop who got that initial knock and elimination on the Acorn, leaving them that far below the damage threshold. But now the zone pulling up over towards the north. This is a good zone for the majority of the lobby. There's not too many different elevation changes, especially drastic ones at bad. It's just as long as it doesn't pull towards the west. That's what the entire lobby has to be hoping for right now, including Pings, Walks, and Malibuca. From high ground victory royale in that last game to low ground for now, this is exactly kind of the same pace they were taking. It wasn't until zone 10, maybe even 9, that they actually went up for that high ground and held it for the rest of the game. But you're seeing some teams above the damage threshold with their eliminations, but 4 eliminations though, Veno, Vico, and Flixie, they're 178 below the damage threshold. They know they have their work cut out for them and get focused outside of the lobby, making it hard for them to find their way in without burning through these materials.
They've at least got an ample amount of mats though, so they're not too pressed just yet, but they're gonna have to start to kick things into overdrive because Vico, Flixie, Veno, they're still sitting underneath that damage threshold. They got Oceana directly next to them. This is the first fight they can find. This is the first fight they're gonna take it. Anon immediately being thrown back. That's all the damage that they needed, just barely pushing them above the threshold line.
Those are the fights that they strive for. Those are the fights that they are so effective in. We've seen it all year long. They'll find themselves in tough situations like that and create it their way out.
Here, Nana, Bolt, and Rapid, they had a fantastic game number 1. Unfortunately, they weren't able to pick up that VR, like Kanata said, to start the day, but they're here again with another opportunity with Rapid and Bolts by his side. His IGL, his Fragger, that's a lot of confidence that's continuing to brew in that trio. Same here for Pigstorm and Thief. As I said, underdogs to top dogs. Levin, this team is probably one of the biggest surprises in EU, right?
Yeah, these guys have been phenomenal. We highlight it so much. But this is another example of a game where they're playing at their own pace. Excellent timings. I know when we've spoken to Coach Sven, he's always talked about the preparation of these guys being so important. They understand how to play this lobby. And again, this looks like a game where we will probably see them in that top 5, top 4 towards the end.
They want this. They're starting to get a little bit of posturing now. Safe zone. They're ready to maybe try and make that approach towards holding line, but it's still very early.
Are we finally getting to see it here on that?
We finally got a chance here. 411 points. These are the ones that are essentially hot on the heels of that first place team. They're building out, looking for opportunities to reconnect. You see Marius focusing down that second height. It may not be an AR, but damage is still there. Flixie and Benno, they both go down. Vico's still 59 below the damage threshold. He does have minis, he does have some big pop, even a vent miss. But the miracle thing is that Storm Surge is going to knows where he stands.
But they were just constantly teeter-tottering for far too long on that second threshold. Mr. Savage in a very simple position. He's trying to get out of the low ground, but he won't get the chance. Chav falls directly after him, and that's going to be a little bit of open ground now for somebody else to try and roll through in this ultimate lower layer. But still, Swizzy, Mistake, Easy, they are plotting for that high take.
That's never a good sign when you see a team tagging on zone transition. You want to be ready to rotate. Find an angle to use that crash pad. Gonna have to create more space to do it.
That one's going to be easy. Gets to the other side. But Easy's not even distracted by the other players in his path. He knows, get to the front side of zone. Control the pace, control the tempo. Worry about later. And there is very few players next to him on that side. Cammy, Hydra, Hobby going to be one of them. But on the high ground, there's not been very many teams that can contest them. Dixie, Marius, Vanya. This could be their chance to get that VR. And then get another elimination on the pump. Can they clean it up, though?
I like this from Vico, though. Still just out of sight, out of mind. But he might be able to make a huge play if he can find another elimination. Said no, Vico jumped on first. That's going to be the dream-ending year in Game 8 for Benno's team. But Alex resigns. They've just got a little bit more time, a little bit of an extension here. They're going to take the crash pad front side zone, but lower layers have already established themselves. They've got to be careful of not getting chopped out.
Dixie, Darm, Demas, wait till the last second, crash pad to the front side of zone. Swizzy, Mustache, Weezy, they have the materials. They did not play for the high ground. They're okay being down low in the turf. They know they're the most dangerous team at this event, especially if you run into them. Kanata bolts, Rapid, scrambling around, trying to heal up. The splash is coming out, but that's the last of the white heals that Kanata has in his inventory. Up above, there's a team trying to put pressure down. You see them scrambling and forcing them to split up momentarily.
Respect though from Queasy to still make the commitment towards the low ground. Meanwhile, Bolt, Kanata, Rapid just doing everything they can to try and keep themselves up and in the running here. But Hydra, Cammy, they're still looking to break through. They recognize there's an opportunity here. There's a team that might be weak, but they're shooting into a box that nobody's even inside.
Goes into the south, they got lots to figure out. Swizzy, Queasy now as a duo. We've seen them dominate from the skies. But how big can you guys take it? Swizzy won't say it's a drop. Pixie, Marius, Vanya, they've held on well for now, but this is the hard one. Can they continue to hold on as the 11th zone ends?
See the double pump coming out from Marius. That's not going to deal a ton of damage or even pressure. Marius is dropping down along with Pixie, staying to the backside of the zone. They're making sure nobody can flank him as Bolts takes down Cammy. He is a solo champion on land before third parties. He's looking to have a masterclass performance here. 600 points. Swizzy is just trying to keep them going across that finish line, scrambling in and outside of the zone. The Slurp Juice just a little too late.
He just can't do it. Storm sickness coming into effect. They spent so much time outside of the zone, but now Watts trouble on the high ground here for Vanya. Watts still trying to see if he can come and hear it for himself. Gonna have to use the Blueberry Fizz. Probably only a matter of seconds before he might get chopped down. But forced to drop and enter the fight down below. Panzer Seti and Yakko though, they're so healthy.
Yakko, they're looking strong, but can they close it out on the Watch has no more HP to hold on. The tree will be the only thing stopping it. They just need to connect with the final shot, and the storm will do the job. They are the favorites, but right now with Leon, you must give them respect.
Teddy, Yafko, and Panzer. I started the day saying just a few big games away from that top spot. Frankie, they're just a few games away.
On your feet, boys, on your feet. Seti, it felt like it was just a matter of time before you got your victory for championship. How did you manage to do it from the low ground?
I mean, I just have the best teammates and we have very good chemistry, so it just works.
So the chemistry has come so quickly for you guys. Yapko, coming back, we talked about it earlier, from North America to Europe. Why do you think Europe is so successful here in Lyon?
I don't know, we're just crazy.
You are crazy, absolutely.
Mesdames et messieurs, félicitations, congratulations for this first victory royal. This victory is the beginning of a lot of victory, do you think? Do you think more victory now than you started?
Yeah, I think so.
So, how will you manage to have more victories now and to keep going on this?
I mean, we just maybe found the secret right now, so we're just gonna keep trying the same thing and gonna see how it works.
Seti, I think you're enjoying this crowd.
Yeah, I love them. It's like a love-hate relationship, no?
Well, I think I'm gonna leave you to enjoy them a little more because we need to take a break. We'll be back with game number 9.
Welcome back to Fortnite Global Championship. Oh man, we've seen it. It happened. Seti gets a victory royale in land. Unfortunately, the crowd, they boo Seti. They don't know him. They don't respect him like that. They probably should. But still, for Seti and his trio, this is big, right? This is momentum, Kelly.
I mean, this is huge, and honestly, I think all 3 of these players deserve all the respect. Fans are coming in here, never being in a land position, and now coming out on top. But really, what I want to talk about, 11. Watching this team, zone 9, dead side rotate. Look at the congested side on the western side of that zone. Everyone was over there, and they just kind of snuck by on that dead side. And when you see a dead side rotation, that's usually early.
and they kind of avoided all the other aggression on the low ground, which allowed them to make it to the end game.
And I mean, those are the type of rotations that, you know, Seti has been synonymous with in his career, right? He's always been able to execute those, especially in late game scenarios. I think the big thing with this team is, again, they had such a strong start yesterday. A lot of people sort of would have looked at them and gone, are they going to keep it going again today, right? And they can really get a foothold in this competition. Seti showing right here, he's here to stay. He won't let that crowd affect him. And that's going to be a big game for them in the standings. You see them now securing a position in first place.
Man, they are moving up, dude. But guys, look, yeah, I mean, 438 points. If that was all, you know, that was the top, it would be fine. But when we look at the top, Queasy, Merstaff, Swizzy, 606 points. It doesn't matter what situation they're in, right? Hold on to that lead, right? Keep buffering that as long as possible. Kelly, eventually that game is going to show up, and they're going to win that game, and then that's it. GG, everybody else.
It's just so hard to really do anything to this trio when you look at their early and mid game and just how solid of a strategy they have. Obviously, the early game is just clean for them. They have no issues rotating into that bunker, making sure that they're getting those heals and that metal. They're able to take these early engagements and they just use their metal builds because they know in the bunker they're going to be able to replenish all of that and even in a surplus. And then they rotate over. This was the first time, though, that I really saw them kind of controlling the front low ground of zone. And even in that position when they didn't have what they needed for high ground, you see them. They're still picking up. They're still looking at high ground. Usually as a duo to steal it, nothing can slow this duo down.
I mean, look, they're always going to give it a scout. You know, you always got to give it a look. And I mean, look, think about it. If they're not up there, they've got to be thinking whoever's up there is not as good as us. Right? We're the best. So we're not up there. Maybe there's a chance for us. I mean, look, these guys, again, we've just been back.
I'll do a little rank related to it.
Realistic chance of taking over the top three to actually play through their own strategies. But Pixie, Marius, and Banya, every time they're on the screen, you almost anticipate that the Banya boo-boo's gonna follow shortly after. Marius, just what a supportive teammate, tossing medkits their way, making sure that everybody has hippo white heals to play tag off Surge.
Yeah, essentially consolidating all of those extra heals into one spot. Pixie, Amdo, Higgs, and even though Supernova Academy uncontested, they're sticking to the plan. They practice up until this point. They land over towards those RBs. They get some chests. But most importantly, it's how quick and fast you can kind of max out your brick material. And then they go right back on over to Supernova, where this time it's a little bit of a hot drop. Extra loot over there, but Epic, Paper, Victor B, that just wasn't a one-game wonder. They're going again at Cammy and iDrop. Hardy's already out, and that gives them a huge advantage. A momentum shift, confidence at an all-time high, as Victor B looking to go toe-to-toe with Cammy there on the other side, fighting for pieces, knowing he has his teammates behind him. He's ready to go all in.
Ever since Victor B was able to shut down Peterbot in the first lobby yesterday, Jacob, it seems like he's been playing with an all-new level of confidence, and that's the most lethal kind of confidence a player could possibly have. Victor B still looking to close in on the Cammy and iDrop, barreling at the walls here and Paper directly underneath. It's a lot of pressure, and there's nowhere to run. That is until Pump possibly decides to enter the exchange. Directly around, Victor B closes on the back wall, though, but he's scrambling. The fragger is down. It's all up to Epic Whale and Paper to recover this.
The aggressive nature coming out of Pump. He's the one, Major 3, forcing that spot to roll down to Victor B, Epic, and Paper. But at least two of them are still alive. The IGL, the 6-time FNCS champion. And with iDrop, Hardy, and Cammy rotating out of this, they have a chance here. It might not be a massive one, but a chance to survive, get Victor B back into the game. But you can see on the minimap, the zone is kind of telling. It might kind of center up this game instead of leaning one side to the next, but it's all about that north or south pole where these teams are going to have to rotate quicker than ever.
Different scenes for Gina, for Noxie, and Pablo. Ever since they won that initial battle at Rangers Ruin, had full control of the swarm. Now they're getting the priority access and double the trouble. Gonna enter the conversation.
I feel like that was best case scenario in terms of exotics, considering their playstyle. Yeah, Slapberry Fizz could be good, extra heals. Yeah, a Wrecker Revolver, the exotic could be good. But the way these guys fight, two different one-pump shotguns could possibly change the game, especially since they ended yesterday with a win and 19 eliminations. They're trying to channel that. Art continues to take the fight toward the north side of the map. Goofy, Vortex, and Mountain, they're the ones they have enough of throughout the day. And Art, yeah.
Yeah, they're scrappy, and that's the big thing here, is that Art Salco School, they realize Vortex, Mountain, and Goofy are just farming Surge off of Queasy from a distance. So we're gonna take the battle to them. We don't want to waste any more time. As issues continue to pile up elsewhere, Epic Whale might have just met his demise at the hands of Cold. So tells me that Peterbot, Gold, and Ritual, they're still on the move. They're still looking at third party, any instances they can get their hands on. But Salco, Art School, first they've got to deal with Oceania. And the longer this draws out, Jacob, the worse it is for both of them.
Yeah, when they won their major championship in Major 2, it was through aggression. It was through running down teams, forcing them back to the lobby, whether they liked it or not. They're trying to channel that here, but it's just not as easy because every one of these teams, regardless of the region, are one of the best teams in the world, which is how they qualified to this stage. Goofy, Vortex, and Mountain, they're just not going to roll over. They're going to fight with every fiber of their being. The Vortex takes a good shot. Shield goes out the window. Arc continues to pressure on that other side. Salco's there to back him up. Goofy just kind of gets tricked a little bit. Damage continues to pour in. Salco and Arc are feeling more and more confident with each second counts in this fight. Arc might have bit off just a little bit more than he could chew. 40 HP are left is all he has left.
A little bit of over-aggression possibly spilling through there from Arc, and that's going to give Alvin, Goofy, and Vortex much more priority inside of the box fight. But teams are continuing to collapse around the map. Pico, Vano, Flixie also looking to establish a little bit of a surge strategy. It comes as no real surprise that some teams are still looking to just trade nuts from their surge-based positions. But again, when teams are caught up in these close encounters, they don't have any other choice but to fight their way through. And that's exactly what School, Art, and Salco are looking for. But they need to have commitment. Vortex, Mountain, and Goofy just continue to delay. It is a worst-case scenario for both these teams.
From the off-spawn fight, taking down Tayson, they're now putting their aggression on the Agers, Acorn, and no, even Agers and Boyle on the back foot. And it's not only that team they have to worry about. If you look at the minimap, the north, the south, even the east has third-party potential written all over it. Boyo's taking a lot of that pressure, and this is exactly what I warned you about. When you have that one-pump potential, they're immediately going to put it to use. Down goes Boyo. Doxy, Pablo, and Chino are looking to take over Game 9.
It's less about the one-pump potential for me, Jacob. It's more if you see Prodoxy, Pablo, and Chino win that off spot as quickly as they did, you never know where they're going to come from. These guys are experts at executing the roam strategy and finding their surge through sheer elimination fire. To pull back the demons to breathe. But this is like starting from square one. 2 builds. We can see a little bit of where things went south here. Checking back in with Prodoxy, finding that initial knock, leading the elimination on the Boyo. It's just disastrous right now for A4.
Not just them though. No set, but she was knocked. Chaps are trying to get back into it, but he's gonna fall as well. Him and Reason just go down to Snowy and Sod. Ryu, he was eliminated early on, but they have to watch out. The third party's now looking to crash. They know, they heard it. That's Reed Cooper and Curly trying to make up for lost time. They were able to get the revive off, but Tosh, they sliver of HP, looking for survival. The launch pad comes out, so they have to abandon ship. Cooper sees it into the sky. This is his only chance. They cannot let him survive because they need the points. They need the surge, and they're going to grab it all.
Curly and Cooper, just the perfect tag team to nail those players. The moment that they try to escape, third parties are just so vicious, and it's crazy to think, Jacob, at how much action has really taken place inside of the storm.
Oh no, I saw what happened in the feed, but now we get to see and hear Blixie down. Vico's trying to fight back to get the elimination onto Tay. Rido's essentially going to be by himself. When you see him lurking around, Benno just runs into the brick wall. Rido is out. Oh my God!
I'm speechless. I can't believe we just witnessed that. Benno and Vico have Raizo in their sights, and yet somehow, some way, they're the ones that are sitting waiting for the battle bus to take off in the next lobby. Iamzo, Clicks, and Higgs drawing us back into Supernova Academy. But Jacob, this is preposterous what is taking place.
I feel like all 3 majors was kind of like leaning towards one thing. A lot of these towers, the surge, the trading shots. But when you come to the global championship and things don't work out, you have to adapt. And you're really seeing a lot of these teams adapting at its finest. Marius Vanya, Pixie from the OXR HQ. This is exactly what you were talking about. Consolidating the heals early on in the game. 3 med kits in the inventory. Extra med miss. So now, even though they have to rotate on out, they're as healthy as can be. The Blueberry Fizz and that launch pad means they can cover almost 1,000 meters across the map before they have to land.
It's all about just trying to stay out of that render distance. They don't want to be scouted out as they're soaring in off these rotations. But Pix, Dark, Demas just continue to impress. You would never believe that this is their first ever LAN experience. They have played with so much confidence throughout the entirety of this weekend. It almost feels inevitable before they find their victory royale.
Garm plus 60 points as a solo, the most of any other player. Taco, we have 8-time champions. We have 7-time champions. We have 6-time champions. We have some of the best players in the world, but it's Darm, the new kid on the block, that's really putting on a show here for his team. If they can continue this pressure, you know, I think that something can happen here when the score is over at the end of the day. Only time will tell. Non-Resign and Alex, they haven't moved away from their drop spot 2 yet. The zone has kind of helped them out, but now they're going to get a farther pull than they've ever faced so far. And the only big question, seeing nobody else really around them, is how much surge do they have?
At least have that rip pod incoming, a little bit more resources, a little bit more utility they can possibly utilize, but heading towards the top of this mountain range, Anon bound to have spotted out those players a little bit further east from where they're located. So you have to anticipate that there's going to be possibly looking to set up a crouch sneak play. You can never be too careful. You got to check every single corner in day 2.
Cannot a rapid. Both else rotating on over, trying to get as close to the center of the zone as possible, give themselves a little bit of elevation to work with, not too much. They don't want to be kind of the focus of the lobby overall. Steady Yapko Panzer, same thing for them. They already got their mountaintop. Just at the edge of the zone, though, Seti's using that bush to his advantage, not even a full box.
If you don't respect the player, you've gotta respect the gameplay. Maybe Seti can win over this French audience. Maybe he could be an honorary, nominee for somebody to cheer for here. And they've really been playing lights out this weekend, Jacob. They deserve a little bit of credit for what they've been able to put up. But right now, it's all about Adon, Alex, and Resign trying to shut down Seti, Panzer, and Yapko. They don't want to allow him to find any sort of rhythm.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, though, because you saw that stat, Yapko, with 2 different versions of the AR. He has the most damage in the lobby, making sure that they can play these games out with flexibility. They can play these games out with space and positioning because he is making sure they are almost always above that storm surge threshold. And it comes from positioning like this. Remember, Taco, they landed the Kappa factory all the way towards the east, so they're making their rotations a huge focal point of their game plan. As you jump on board, Clicks, Higgs, and Iyamso still rotating in from the north side of the map. They're being trailed by King Phaser and PH Sin, which is not a comfortable feeling because King Phaser and PH Sin love to fight.
And it's not only that, but look at how much material they've been having to burn on their way in. Not only that, but they're also just announcing to everybody else inside of zone already that's looking back. Oh, there's walls going up. Oh, there's definitely at least one team approaching us from the flank, so they don't even have a chance to try and even posture more towards the inner section of that edge zone. And Phaser, King, PH, that is the last people behind me because for the reasons you just mentioned, Jacob, they love to fight.
They do so as a full trio. So it's almost like a hope for Clixiamzo and Higgs or any other team positioned nearby that they're above the damage threshold. And that's one less aggressive team that you do have to worry about. But you're seeing when it comes to our top 10, 2 more teams have went down. Still got Malibu's team alive, 332 points. He's only 2 points down from 8th. 2 more points after that for 7th. A little bit more of a run to get into the top 6, but with that player and team already down, it's a realistic chance. Uncontested has proved to be fruitful, but oh my gosh, Dexter strikes somehow. Somebody, Panzer, Yapko, they're both down. Seti, the invitational champion, has to figure out a way to fight back, but that trade's on the other side. Visual diminished, they have to be nearby, and especially now more and more teams are closing in on the distance. Seti has to figure it out, and he gets denied.
There's just nowhere left for Seti to run, and Francis is going crazy. Watching Seti be eliminated. What the action isn't done just yet. Anon resigns. Alex still overhead. Underneath, Uyuriru and Wixie. They're trying to prevent breaks, visuals, and the finish from actually leaving this territory. But for how long can they actually stop them? The moment that they move out of here, visuals bound to take notice. He's immediately trying to apply a little bit of additional damage, maybe get some good shots up. But revisiting what was going down with Clixiamzo and Higgs, they're actually going to be the ones to get the jump on Asia. Brazzle, a little bit too isolated, and that's going to be an immediate knock into the elimination.
Yeah, Razzle got frazzled by Clixiamzo and Higgs, but they're not giving up. And this is a change-up with another knock. Elimination going on Iamzo. It all comes at a cost because Clix goes down. Higgs is trying to stay alive, and he does just that. Iamzo helping save the day, and that's the big part from this team. Because remember, there was a moment yesterday. They got a knock. They got an elimination on the Kanata. Higgs wanted to push over. He wanted to fight that fight 3v2. The rest of the team said... Nah, let's rotate in. These guys have come for a comeback.
For Pablo, he's last man standing. Paper, still looking to find him, and Victor B right next to him. Pablo so deeply tucked away into a corner, but he doesn't have a whole lot of options to escape here. Immediately charged in, but Paper, what a shot! He's gonna be put down into the dirt. Victor B is gonna
entire world, and that's Victor V's legacy. If y'all remember way back when Arkham was even still playing Coney Crossroads, Victor V said, "This is my drop. I don't care how many championships you have, Epic. I don't know how many championships you have, Arkham. You're gonna have to go through me." And it's full circle. Now they're on the same team, and that confidence for Victor V is at an all-time high.
This is a much more familiar sight, though, for Swizzy, Queasy, and Mustache. Arguably their best loadouts at this point of the lobby so far here today. And Mustache, Swizzy, Queasy definitely still being very conscious of what surrounds them. School Arc and Salvo not too far behind, but Yamzo and Clicks, they're forcing their way into the edges of zones, and they just don't have anything to work with. The last of their materials being expended. Yamzo even can buy him enough time, but Pump, Baka, Bars, they're already in zone, Jacob. They'll hold this for as long as they want.
Yeah, and since they're already positioned in zone, like you said, it makes an easy decision for Bars to kind of go by himself. He knows his teammates are watching his back and trying to get that loop as fast as possible. Yamzo knows they're closing in on the distance. He's trying to use his crash pads to escape, but you cannot escape NA West as they take down Clicks, Higgs, and Yamzo, and they're struggling.
Guys, I'm probably gonna end the stream there. I'm tired of this. So I guess see you in the next stream of Stuff Kings. We streamed on Twitch today, that was cool. One person was watching. Yeah, see you in another stream of Stuff Kings. Goodbye.